We are now live. It is just about 30 seconds away from the top of the hour. And this is an open Q&A call to address any question that you may have. And so for today, what I'd love to invite you to do over the next 30 minutes is, if you have a question for me and you would love me to answer it for you, you can type it in either the Instagram page or on Facebook. I'm doing both at the same time, multitasking, as we've got that wonderful opportunity to do. So this Q&A call is going to go for about 30 minutes. And the idea behind it is to address any questions that you may have as it relates to achieving anything, success, money, relationships, any kind of manifestation question that you may have. I am ready to answer it for you right here, right now. Now, a number of people have submitted questions in advance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to address those questions first, and then anyone that's online, hey, good to see you here, Tam, nice to see you. Anyone who's online that has a question, then I would love to address your questions as well. So we're gonna start with the first question that's been posted. And this question is from, this is a great question, by the way, questions from Rhonda W. So Rhonda W, not sure if you're listening or you're going to be watching the replay. Oh, actually, yeah, she said that in her question. She's going to be watching the replay. So here's the question that was asked. Are you able to talk about being persistent even after being turned down for something? All right, great question. Well, if there's something that you desire, there's something that you want to have, or something you want to do, something you want to be, or some accomplishment, and you've been turned down, don't give up. When you receive a no, or what you assume is a no, it could be that the timing is off. You see, quite often people underestimate. All right, how do you make $1 million in a month? Says
unknown caller.
Oh, cute. Oh, great. There we go. All right, I'm going to answer your question in a second, Bruce. So persistence is really a matter of keep going when others have given up. And persistence, I believe, is one of the most important characteristics of anyone who's looking to achieve success. So what you need to do is, number one, decide that whatever it is that you want, that you really want it, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes, as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, to get you to where you want to go. And you understand that there's going to be work involved, and that you're willing to come up against the obstacles. Anything that's ever been accomplished in this world, like when I think about all the things that I've accomplished in my life, persistence has been probably the most important ingredient to all of the success. And I wrote a book about it. The book that I wrote is called Be a Dog with a Bone. And why I wrote that book is because if there's something that you really desire, you got to hold on tight to your dream and not let anyone else try to take it away from you or take it away from you. And other well-meaning people who are probably very loving and very kind and care about you may try and dissuade you from pursuing that dream for whatever reason. And we've seen it time and time and time again in so many movies and examples. And if you study billionaires, you're going to find that so many people told them that they were crazy and that they were illogical and what they were trying to do was never going to happen. However, they didn't listen to it, or they didn't let it in. So persistence is part of that. You've got to really hold tight to what it is that you want, not allow anyone else's negative thoughts or negative behavior or negative ideas. That's simply coming from their paradigms. Do not allow it to influence you in any way whatsoever. And just keep going, keep going. It's like in that movie, Finding Nemo, with little Dory, the fish. And what did she say to Nemo? Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And that's what you have to do. And that's persistence. Persistence always pays off. Just remember, when you're pursuing a goal, you never know how long it's going to take for you to get there, but you've got to be persistent. Will you come up against obstacles? Yes, very likely. And the greater the obstacle, the more likely that you're going to come up against some, or the greater the goal, pardon me, the more likely you're going to come up against some serious challenges. So I really appreciate you for asking that question. And hopefully you'll be able to catch the recording and see that, Rhonda. Okay, the next question is from Rachel, and Rachel is saying the following. She is saying, when visualizing wealth, this is a good question. I want everyone to listen to this question. More importantly, listen to the answer. Here's the question from Rachel. When visualizing wealth, is it effective to visualize the actual money, such as cash and bank accounts, or the things you will do with all of the money? All right, great question, Rachel. It can be both of those things. Now, let me give you a couple different examples for that. Some practical things that I personally do myself. All right, and Helen, I'm going to answer your question in a minute as well. Bruce, I know you asked the question earlier, so I'm going to address both. Let me just make a note of this. Bruce's question and Helen's question, because I want to make sure Helen and Bruce. Okay, I want to make sure I answer those questions. But in the meantime, Rachel has asked a question, good question. When you're visualizing or when you're focusing on money, do you actually visualize the money, or do you visualize the what you're doing with the money? And I said both of those things. So I'll give you some examples of that. A number of years ago, I made a decision that I was going to purchase a house and I didn't have the money to do it. Now we're going back about 25 years ago now, and I didn't have the money to do it, but I knew I needed the money for the deposit to pay for the house, to get into the house. So what I did was I actually created these $1,000 bills. Now they were pretend $1,000 bills, but I created a stack of them, a pile of them, and it was the exact number of $1,000 bills that was required in order for me to close the deal on this house. And what I would do is I would count these bills every morning and every night. And they were it's kind of like play money, if you will, but they were about the same size as a regular dollar bill. And at the time in Canada, we had $1,000 bills. We don't have $1,000 bills today. They've sort of gotten rid of them. But back then there were $1,000 bills. So I would get up in the morning and I would count my $1,000 bills and feel the elation and feel the gratitude of having that money. And then at night I would do the same. But what's most important in this whole exercise is feeling as if you already have it. Now that's one thing that I did. Another thing that I've done is, and I've mentioned this before on other calls, is I've created statements. So for example, you can go into your bank account online. You can do a highlight, copy, paste, put it into a Word document, and you can change the balance of either your bank accounts, or if you have loans, you can do this with loans. If you have a line of credit or credit card debt or a mortgage or whatever, put them at zero balance, but show that it's still available, that you still have the credit. Because I've seen some people who have made a decision that they didn't want to have the debt anymore, and then they ultimately ended up getting themselves into some pretty serious financial challenges. So you want to see yourself still financially healthy. So what I have done is I've taken these mock-up bank statements for my use only, and I've modified them and put in the amounts of money that I love to see in my bank account. And so I print them, laminate them. I do this for my personal bank accounts. I do this for my investment accounts. I do this for my business accounts. I do it for my sales reports. And I print them and then I laminate them, and I actually have them, I have a copy that I carry with me. It's in my briefcase. So when I travel, which I do quite a bit, I have them with me, but I also have them in my nightstand right beside my bed. So I will again see them, smile at them, look at them before I go to bed, at night, and in the morning, the first thing I do is grab my gratitude journal. So what I do with these bank statements and investment statements is I put them right on top of my gratitude journal. So that's the first thing that I see. The other thing, the other part of Rachel's question is see what you're doing with the money. If you want to buy a car, or you're looking to buy a boat, or you're looking to buy a house, see yourself doing that. See yourself with the check, the like the certified check or the bank draft. See yourself paying for it. So those are things that you can do actively with your imagination that can impact you emotionally with the feeling that it's already there. How many books are sold to become a best-selling author? Okay, I'm going to get to Bruce's question. Okay, so Bruce has two questions here. I still have two more to go, and then I'm going to come back to all these questions. Okay, great. All right, perfect. And I'm going to get to Jetba. I'm going to get to your question as well. Okay, so let's go back over here to this question. Actually, I want to address. No, that's okay. I'll remember it. I was going to say I was going to address Bruce's question, but number of books, bestseller. million in a month, a million in a month. And Helen had a question. I've got that there. Okay. Mira has a question here. Here's Mira's question. Hi, Miss Peggy. I got stuck with an idea in my mind, and I'm trying to understand the meaning of what Mr. Proctor is saying in one of his videos about money. The big money, when it's coming, are always the result of definite demands based upon the application of definite principles and not by chance or luck. What definite principles? I'm thinking and nothing comes to mind about the phrase really means. Please help me understand. Yeah, I actually have in my drawer here, I have that big money, the big money, the big money. See, the big money. Okay, so definite principles are the principles for success. And the book, Think and Grow Rich, because that's directly where that quote came out of. And Mira, if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, I absolutely recommend that you read that book. It's a fabulous book. And that's what Bob is quoting from. Definite principles are the principles for success. And it's really working with the laws of success as well. So it's things like in the book, Think and Grow Rich, there are 13 principles for success. And so what you want to do is you want to read that book, study that book, so you're very familiar with what those principles of success are. All right, so that's what he's referring to there. All right, so that's when big money comes. Okay, let's go to the next question. It's from Colin. It was submitted in advance as well, and then I'm going to come back to the live questions that have been asked today. So Colin is saying, thank you so much for taking the time to answer our questions and for doing these live events. I heard you talk about the law of gestation in the past, and I'm wondering if there is a way, oh, I love this question, is there a way that you can help or we can help speed up the process? Maybe my question is more about how to make a quantum leap. I probably should be patient, but since my goals has a time frame and a deadline, I feel a sense of urgency about accomplishing. Is the time that it takes for our goal to materialize connected to our paradigms and overcoming them? Heck yes, absolutely, Colin, it sure is. Okay, so the question is, how do you speed up the process? How do you take quantum leaps? I love that. I think that is such an amazing question, Colin. Thank you so much for asking. How do you speed up the process? I remember one time hearing that question addressed of Bob Proctor, and his answer was awareness. Develop a better awareness. You see, if you were in my office right now, you would see I'm surrounded by books. I'm surrounded by materials. I'm constantly studying. I'm constantly creating more content. I'm working on a new course right now. We're getting ready to release another book called The Demand Principle. And so even though I've been studying for 40 years, I am always looking to improve upon my understanding and my awareness. And therefore, I'm not only studying it, I'm teaching it as well. So how do you speed up the process? Increase the intensity of your study, which helps create a better level of awareness. Okay, great. So Odessa Melody, so maybe it's Melody Odessa, says, can you give an examples of what we should give in return for the money you desire? Okay, I'm going to answer that question right now. Melody. Okay, examples of what you can give. Okay, sorry, I just heard some noise. I didn't know where that was coming from, but I think my husband is in the gym and he's got the music cranked down there. So that's what the noise is. Oh my goodness, I have this hair in my face. It's driving me nuts. Okay. Hi, Colin. I just answered your question. Hopefully you were on the call while we answered it. So I would say that, I want to finish up a little bit before I go on to these other questions for Colin's question about speeding up and quantum leaps. I believe that when you make a decision that you're going to make a quantum leap, there's something that occurs within you. It's like a commitment, right? A committed decision that you're going to do this. And so what I suggest to folks is if you really want to make some dramatic change and have some dramatic improvement in your results, then take some dramatic action, right? Like really study these materials, but don't just study them for the sake of studying them and having a greater awareness, but implement them as well. For example, I have that book that I give away, the Power Life Script book, and the Power Life Script book, and I've excuse me, we'll put the link here on Facebook and on Instagram so you can go and download it. It is powerlifescript.com/free book. And so read that, follow through with that, and listen to your Power Life script. Now, Colin, you're probably already doing that, I suspect. And if so, you maybe want to improve upon it as well. Make it even better and more powerful. Yesterday, I re-recorded my Power Life script, and I've been doing this for over 20 years. But I'm always improving upon it because I believe that, hey, thank you, that nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. We're either getting better or we're getting worse. So you absolutely want to be focused on getting better. So increase your level of awareness. You do that through study. Implement the things that I recommend through all of the free materials that I'm offering. Okay, the next question that was asked was from Bruce. And I'm going to go to Bruce's question. Bruce had 2 questions. Helena has a question. And Melody has a question. So Bruce's questions were, how do you earn $1 million a month? Well, first you have to decide that you're earning $1 million a month, and anybody can do it. So if you think you can't, you can. If you think you can, you can. That was a quote that I think Henry Ford said many, many years ago. But it's absolutely possible. I was telling someone yesterday, I've earned $1 million in an hour. I've earned $1 million in a weekend. So $1 million a month to me seems like chump change almost. It's not quite that way. You absolutely have to bring something of extraordinary value to the world, and there's going to be work involved. There's going to be an investment of time, energy, and very likely money in order to get those kinds of returns. But there's multiple ways that you can be earning millions in a month. You could create something online, a membership program. I remember a number of years ago, one of my clients set up a program where they were charging $20 a month and had 20,000 members. So, and I had 2 clients actually were doing this similar thing, not the same thing, but a similar thing where they had this monthly fee of $20 a month. They had 20,000 members. Now think about it. There's 4 billion people online, $20,000 members, not a lot. It's like a tiny, tiny fraction of what the potential is. And they were charging 20,000 a month. So think about it, 20,000 a month times 12 months. And okay, so hang on a sec. That's 20,000 people a month times $20. That on its own is 400,000 a month. Over 12 months is $4.8 million. $4.8 million a month just with that alone. And both of them had set it up as an automated kind of service. One was a membership and the other one was a subscription service. But either way, I could sit here all day long and doing countless examples of people that have earned millions upon millions of dollars by creating offerings and putting them up online. So anyone can do it. It's just you got to understand that it's possible. And I suspect, Bruce, that you've already downloaded $1millionamonth.com, but if not, you want to go over and get your copy of the free ebook that we've created that'll probably start stimulating some ideas for you, called $1 Million in a Month. All right, so head on over and take a look at that. The other question that Bruce had asked was with regard to how many books does it take to make a book a bestseller? Well, the answer to that is it depends. It depends on what else is selling at any given time. And there's different bestseller lists. There's a USA Today bestseller list, Wall Street Journal bestseller list, New York Times bestseller list, there's Amazon bestseller, and there's Amazon all over the world. So there's multiple Amazon sites. So you could be an Amazon.com bestseller, Amazon.ca bestseller, Amazon.co.uk bestseller. So it really depends on the number of books that are selling at any given time. To make your book a bestseller on Amazon is a heck of a lot easier than it is for any of the big lists like New York Times. So New York Times, you want to set an objective to sell a minimum of 10,000 books, maybe more, in a period of 1 week. And of course, all those books must be shipping to the United States. And I go into all that in great detail in my Committed Author program. It's called The Committed Author. All right, let's go over to Helena's question. And then I'm going to answer Melody's question. So Helen is asking, she says, can you completely decide the timeline or just the goal or both? For example, I am grateful that I live in a house of my dreams by January 2020. All right, yeah, you could set the date, but dates are usually guesses, right? They're guesses, unless you've signed your name on a legally binding contract and you have to move in at a certain date, which I've done a number of times with real estate specifically. So as an example of that, I actually have a program called Manifest Your Dream Home where I talk about that specifically, and you might want to check that one out because that's exactly what I've done. So when we're working toward a goal with a date, it's usually a guess. You're guessing. But what I would do, if a dream home is something that you desire, it's something that you would love to have, what you want to do, and you want to be you want to be living in that home, even if you don't know exactly where it is or what it is. You want to be living in that home every single day and really connecting to what it feels like. Okay, Abood has a question here. Can I sell a book for 70,000 people and the book in Arabic, and how many time I need to sell it? I don't understand that question. If you don't mind rephrasing it, that would be wonderful. I really don't understand what that question is. Okay, great. All right, so yes, Helen, you can set the date for yourself, recognize you're only guessing, and see yourself living in that home every single day and every morning, and you will manifest it. It works like that. Okay, Jet Hava says, hello, I just want to ask you how much time it takes for actual manifestation after seeing repeated numbers like 111, 222. I am seeing it about 2 months. I don't know what your goal is, so I can't really answer that question unless I know what are you talking about specifically, how much time. And frankly, no one really knows how much time it is. It takes as long as it's going to take. Okay, great question over here from Sidhi. Says, is it necessary to visualize always while listening to the Power Life script? Yes, but listen, I really want to help understand this. This is so important. It's not so much about visualizing. And visualizing is important, of course, and visualizing is going to invoke emotions. It's about what are you feeling, right? What are you feeling? Now, your feelings are usually going to be created as a result of what you're seeing in your mind, as a result of your manifestation. So while you're listening to your Power Life script, I would suggest you really do visualize, because as you're visualizing, you're going to be really connecting to those emotions of you already having that which you want to have. And of course, the more you do that, the more likely you're going to be attracting it into your life. All right, great question. Thank you so much for asking. I really appreciate it. There was another question that was asked a little while ago from Melody, and the question was, I'm just going to go up my screen here. Yes, thank you so much for asking this question. Can you give examples of what you should give in return for the money you desire? I love that. I love that you're even asking that question. And frankly, Melody, if you have not either gotten into the program for $1 million a month or downloaded this book, I recommend that you do. So, and I love that Melody's even asking the question the way that she's asking it, because in order for us, you, me, to be earning money, and I'm using the word earn, not make, earning money, we must be bringing something of value to the world. And it's not only something of value, we want to be bringing something of value that people really want and they're willing to pay for. So for example, the process of manifesting anything in your life, anything that you desire, whether it's a relationship, a phenomenal loving relationship, whether it's prosperity, whether it's a beautiful home, whether it's multiple homes in many different countries, whatever it is that you desire to create in your life. I created a methodology called the Power Life Script, which I've used now for over 20 years, that has literally helped me manifest everything that's wonderful in my life. From my incredible marriage to my wonderful husband, Denis, to our beautiful home, to our vehicles, to our boats, to our waterfront place, to the home down in Florida, to the business that I run, to doing work that I absolutely love, to sharing the stage with my wonderful friend and mentor, Bob Proctor, to the health that I enjoy, to the relationships that I have. Every part of it has been manifested by this process called the Power Life Script. And so when we think about bringing value to the world, I know everything that I create in my business, all the programs that I offer, from Pure Magic Monthly to $1 million in a month, to the Committed Author, to Way to Riches, to live events that I do, are all based on bringing great value to the world. And when I created them, I had no idea whether the things that I was creating were going to be the things that were going to actually take off in the world. I really had no idea. And I'm working on a new program right now as well. And the new program, I haven't told anyone about this, but I'm going to tell you guys. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I started working on this program last week. And the reason why I started working on this program is because so many people have been asking me for this type of program. So I'm creating a program called Experiencing True Love. And experiencing true love is not only about attracting your soulmate, but it's about creating a better relationship with someone if you're already in a relationship. It's about having more love and appreciation for yourself. So it's about feeling better about yourself as well. And so this program I'm working on right now. So when we're talking about ideas for what to create to bring great value to the world, to be compensated, I believe it should come from something that you're passionate about, something that you love, something that really gets you excited, something that you have experience in, knowledge in, awareness of, those kinds of things. And of course, it also should be something that people really, really, really want. And so thank you for your comment here on Instagram. Good idea for a program. And so for many, many years, I've been talking about my wonderful relationship with my husband, Denny Belliveau, who I attracted into my life. And I tell that story sometimes when I'm on stage doing speaking engagements of how I attracted Denny into my life. And a lot of people want to know, what did I do? What were the steps? What's the process? And I've never created a program like that specifically before. A lot of the programs that I've created have always been around money earning and, creating great success as an entrepreneur, online marketing, money, prosperity consciousness, and things like that. So I'm very excited to be working on this. It's an idea and a topic that's close and near and dear to my heart. So that's really what you want to be doing. You want to be creating something that's really close to your heart, something that you would love, something that you think other people would really love and appreciate as well. And you're going to create from there. It's a starting point. And of course, as I mentioned, you absolutely want to get over and get a copy of $1 Million in a Month, because anybody, it doesn't matter where you live, what part of the world you're in, how old you are. I have seen senior citizens like in their 80s earning millions of dollars. I have observed teenagers earning millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, a number of years ago, I was doing a program with Bob Proctor, and the program was called Making $1 Million Look Small. And I did a presentation one time. We had a live event, and the presentation that I gave was a presentation on teenagers and how these teenagers had earned multiple millions of dollars. And so the reason why I did that is because I want people to understand that if a teenager can do it, anybody can do it. Hey, thanks, Carlene Nima. I'm not sure if that's your name is. Thank you. I absolutely love what I do, and I love doing these open Q&A calls on a regular basis. It was something that was suggested from some wonderful people that I love and appreciate so much, and it's just such a thrill. I get so excited to do these calls and to be with you and to share with you and to answer any questions that you have. So we're just about at the bottom of the hour now, so we're going to call it a wrap. I'm going to be back. Oh, it's Carlin. Yeah, hi, Carlin. I thought it was you. So I'm going to be back again next week. Let me just look at my calendar. I'll tell you exactly when. So you can maybe get, oh, wait, I'm doing another one on Thursday. Hey, I'm going to be back in 2 days. So in 2 days at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be doing another open Q&A call. So in 2 days. So think of any questions that you have. You can certainly get on that call and address any questions. And I'm going to just wrap it up with answering Victoria's questions. So question rephrased. Would you describe how it feels as you earn $1 million in an hour? Oh, Tammy has a question too. Okay, Tammy. All right, so I'm going to answer both Victoria's question. I'm going to answer Tammy's question. So, oh, cool. Okay, great. So Victoria, and then there's another question here from someone who was on the paradigm shift. Okay, great. So I got 3 questions to answer. Okay, let's go with Victoria's first. So Victoria, she says, how do you describe what it feels like to earn $1 million an hour? It was surreal. I remember it like it was yesterday, and set the goal to do so and actually achieved it, and it was extraordinary. It just feels good. So think about what would it feel like for you to be earning $1 million in an hour, and just knowing the people you're impacting and the people that you're helping. Just connect to what that feels like. So for me, it felt kind of surreal because I had never done it before, but set the goal and then accomplished it. It's like, wow, this stuff really works, although I know it works, but it was still pretty awesome, and felt very, 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 very good. And so I remember the experience very, very well. But we can use our imagination. Anybody can do this. Anyone who's on the Instagram call, the Facebook call right now, just imagine, just tap into your imagination. What does that feel like? Okay, then the next question that was asked is over here from Okay, Tammy says, what would you recommend to stop the negative thoughts that try to overpower the positive emotion ones? Oh my God, perfect question. Here we go. Power Life Script. Just keep programming your mind with only what you want to hear, and you've got to get ready. So one is this. This is the absolute number one way, is to recondition your mind, recreate your own belief system and your paradigms by using your Power Life Script. So absolutely do that. The second thing is, then the moment you notice, here I've got something on my desk, the moment you notice a negative thought come into your mind, ask yourself this question: what would you love? I have these little blocks that I had made up for my clients. And so the first one says, what would you love? And this is a question that I would ask myself anytime I found myself not thinking or not focusing on what I would really love. Also on this little, it's a little triangle, as you can see. Also on here, I have, now that your dream is fulfilled, how do you feel? I have one on my desk. I have one over there in the corner of my office, and I have one beside my bed. And so I have them on each different sides. So now that your dream is fulfilled, how do you feel? And you can write this on a piece of paper if you wanted. And then this one, your success is absolutely guaranteed. Isn't that a cool idea? Your success is absolutely guaranteed. So I would switch your emotion. Like the moment you start thinking negatively, just ask yourself this question: what would you love? And if you don't remember that little 4-word question, write it down on a piece of paper, put it all over the place so it reminds you to ask yourself that question. That's what I would recommend there. Okay, and I think there was one more question over here from somebody who was at Bob's Streaming Club call. Oh, we got a bunch of waves here. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so it is somebody named Go For It. Super, Peggy, I was streaming Bob Proctor Paradigm Shift. I'm writing a children's book. You inspired me, but I don't know what to do next. Get into my Committed Author program, very detailed program. I talk about the marketing, and if you were watching the Paradigm Shift, you heard me say that 5% of an author's responsibility is completing that book and bringing it out to the world. 95% of the responsibility is marketing, and that's a big part of what's taught in the Committed Author program. So I absolutely recommend that you get over there and check it out. It's called The Committed Author, or go to PeggyMcColl.com and you'll find it there. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you 2 days. I'm back 10 a.m. Happy to answer any questions that you may have. Good to be with you guys again today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.